Hey, you! We're back.
Whoa!
I'm Andy. If you're new here, our pronouns they, them.
I'm Oliver, and my pronouns are he, him.
Hell yeah. So today we are going to talk about how we met.
Wow. This is a doozy.
It is a doozy. I'm trying to think of how old was I in 2008?
Was this early 2008 or late 2008?
Early.
Okay, so I was
June.
I was 1.
Yeah, you were going to be 2. I went to your second birthday.
I was not even 2. I
So
was 1 years old.
I was Okay, I was about to
Okay, things are fine. Things are okay. Okay.
I was about to turn 23, and you were about to turn 2 when we met.
Jesus Christ, that's crazy.
I know, it's very crazy. My cousin was Oliver's nanny, and then she couldn't do the job anymore because she got married and had to do something else. And so Ollie's mom needed a new nanny, and I was having the first of many crises in my life. And I decided it would be a good idea to move to Utah because my cousins lived there, and I became Ollie's nanny.
Yep.
I have so many Oliver stories from when he was a little guy.
I don't even remember. I was a little guy.
You were a little guy.
I don't remember a lot of them.
Of course
Sometimes
not.
You'll just start telling a story and it sounds so on brand for me when I'm a kid that I don't even question it.
The main thing about Oliver as a small child is if you were walking behind him, sometimes he would just stop walking out of nowhere, and then you would have to either jump over him or catch yourself on something to keep yourself from crushing him. It was a thing that happened all the time, and not just to me. He took Trace out several times.
Oh, we should explain who Trace is.
Oh, Trace is my best friend. We lived together in Salt Lake City, and we both worked at Borders as well.
Shout out to Trace.
Yeah, hello Trace. My cousin, who was the previous nanny, went to the same church as Oliver. And speaking of Oliver's church, we just did an interview with Ollie on my channel, Assigned Christian at Birth, about his deconstruction process from Christianity.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in that, we'll put... Okay, so the very first people I ever saw on YouTube were the Green Brothers back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And John would always say, there's a link in the doobly-doo. And that is just peak millennial, in my head. Anytime I want to say there's going to be a link in the description, I have link in the doobly-doo stuck in my head.
You can say that. It's
okay. There will be a link in the doobly-doo with Oliver's interview, so be looking for that. Yeah, so I was the nanny, and we would do fun things. I went to your second birthday party, and that was, I want to say, a Finding Nemo birthday party with a bounce house.
No.
No bounce house? Yes.
Bounce house was Toy Story.
I feel like there was a bounce house for the Finding Nemo party, too.
I don't remember a bounce house.
You were very young. But then there was a birthday party at the, indoor bounce center.
Yes, that was the Toy Story one.
Okay, yeah. No, there was a bounce house at your house, I think, for the Finding Nemo party.
Did I just like bounce houses as a kid?
Yeah, but Utah is very bounce house. There's so many fucking kids. You gotta find something to do with them. Bounce houses are way...
Utah, you live in bounce houses instead of regular houses.
So true. But yeah, no, I went to your other birthday party at the bounce place, and that was when you wanted to go down the slide with both me and your grampy at the same time. And
why did I do that?
It's just, I don't know, but I don't remember how this happened because you were not involved in the incident, but somehow me and your grampy hit the bottom of the bounce slide at the same time and got tangled up, and he was on top of me and trying to get up, and he couldn't, and so I was stuck and he was stuck and he was trying to get up, and it was a very traumatizing moment for young me because your mom saw the whole thing happen and she didn't even try to help. She was just pissing her pants laughing.
Becca! Oh my Lord.
And then you wanted Trace to go down with you in her lap, and so she was holding on to you and went out of control a little bit and got friction burn. Yeah, there were a lot of casualties at that point.
I was the dictator too. I was I want, it was my little dolls.
It was Ollie's world and we were just living in
Literally, I was I want X, Y, and Z, and I want this to have. I was already becoming a little director.
when he first came out, he asked me if there was anything that pointed to him being trans as a kid. And I was like, I don't know. There's this one time where your mom gave me $20 and said you could have anything in the store for $20, and you insisted on a little Spider-Man costume with fake muscles.
Did you try to like steer me other way?
Not in a like boy versus girl way. It was just more of like a, in my head, I'm like, hey, we've never watched Spider-Man together, like ever.
Okay.
And I don't even think you even truly knew who he was at that point. You just like saw the suit with the muscles and like wanted it. I wasn't like, no, you're not a boy, you don't want that. It was more like, are you sure that's what you want to spend the $20 on? Like, there's so many other cool things in this store.
Yeah.
Are you sure that's what you want? And you were insistent. And I was like, okay. And so then when his parents came home, I still have it in my head. He was standing on the chair at the kitchen island in his little Spider-Man suit, loving it.
Yeah.
Just beaming with his, he had crazy hair a lot of the time as a young child.
I had a very curly hair when I was little.
Yes. Speaking of, there was this one time where he decided to take some scissors and hack a lot of his hair off.
I still remember that.
Not on my watch.
No.
I'm not pointing any
This
fingers
was late
anywhere.
in the night.
This was late in the night. But the next day when I came over, we styled your hair into a mohawk.
I still have that picture. I'm sure we can put that picture in here.
Yes. I remember your mom like kept the little pile of hair because she was so sad. So I was his nanny from summer/fall 2008, 2 years, when I left in summer of 2010, because I had no intention on staying in Utah. I wanted to get the heck out, and I also knew that I wanted like to find a relationship and do things with my life, and I did not want to find a relationship in Utah and get stuck there. So I bounced.
Housed
and-
from the houses in Draper.
Yes. I moved out here to California, but I would see them sometimes still because Becca and Ben's families are from here. And so when they would visit, we'd see them sometimes. We were not like super, super close for a while just because like he was an actual small child and I was out here trying to figure out how to live life in the real world after being raised fundamentalist Christian. But then one day out of the blue, I get a text from Becca Day that's like, hey, Andy, I just wanted to talk to you about something. I found a pansexual pride flag in Oliver's drawer and I didn't know where he got it. And I asked him and he said he paid a friend to buy it on Amazon and give it to him at school. I don't exactly know what this means. I just wanted to let you know this happened.
I didn't know she found it.
Oh, she found it.
Before
She found it in your drawer and texted me about it. Did you not know that?
I never knew this.
She was like, I don't know that she said the word homosexual, but it's something like, we might have a budding homosexual on our hands or something. Like, she's like, I just don't know why he asked a friend to buy it instead of us. And I need to talk to him about how we love him no matter what. And I mean, obviously she wasn't saying him because he hadn't come out yet. Like, that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, he thought he was pan and was stashing a secret flag.
See, I remember asking my friend to buy it and we were going to come out at the same time.
That's adorable.
I remember like after school, I like had the pan flag. Oh, this is so Tumblr of me. I wasn't even on Tumblr yet either.
Okay, how old were you?
I was 12.
Okay.
And I put the flag and I wore it like a little cape. And I went up to the car and I went, Mom, I'm pansexual. And she didn't know what the fuck pansexual was. Or maybe she did and she was playing dumb. And she was like, okay, cool, get in the car.
That sounds like your mom.
And then I had to explain to her. And then we went to my dad's work and we told him and he was like, oh, okay. I was like, but I didn't know she found it before.
So what made you think you were pansexual back then? I know this is a deviation, but like, was it like the compulsory heterosexuality?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I didn't know I was trans, obviously. But I was like, I like women. I can like women. I thought I was a lesbian for a quick second.
Oh my God.
But I was also very shy. I remember there was a distinct change between like when I would see you in California, it'd be like Minecraft.
This is true.
And then we met up in like a hot tub one time, or like you were living somewhere that had like
we met up in a not.
No, like you were living at some place that had like a pool.
Yes.
And we were in the hot tub together and you were trying to talk to me about your Disneyland special interest. And I was like, okay. And I was like, I didn't say anything. I felt so awkward.
Aww.
And you were like, actually in Disneyland, there's lots of like hidden Mickeys throughout all of the rides. And there's this one in Haunted Mansion. And I was like, okay. And I was so nervous.
That sounds about right. But yeah, his mom sent me this picture of him around that time, and I texted Grace and I was like, we might have a lesbian on our hands.
It was because you raised me. You converted me.
It's fun. I've said this to your mom and you 100 times. Like, when I nannied him, his parents were still very involved in the church, but his mom had a gay best friend, and so I knew that she was not a hater.
That's so
It didn't make sense to me how she went to that church and wasn't a hater, but I knew she wasn't a hater.
Oh no,
and
she's always been very
in my head that I was like, I hope, it's not like I was saying I hope he's gay, but it was like, I knew that she would be a good parent to a kid who was gay. And here we are.
Here we are. What is it, like 15 years later? Oh, that's so long. I don't want to think about it.
You're telling me, bro.
Never mind.
But then we like really started to talk a lot more after he came out. And
you were also the only other person I knew that liked My Chemical Romance. See, I didn't even clock that my mom wanted me to talk to you because you were also queer. I thought it was just like, oh, my mom's texting Andy out of the blue. I wonder what that's about. Oh, they liked My Chemical Romance when My Chemical Romance was in their prime time. That's so cool. And that's what I would say. And I'd be like, Jardway is so hot, but I'm a lesbian and I don't like that.
Oh my God. Denial.
That was a distinct era.
That's
a very
so
distinct
funny.
Era.
So then I went to Salt Lake City for Pride in 2021. And I feel like after that trip, we just got so much closer.
Yeah, we were like somewhat talking in like 2020. Like I remember, I think I like your Discord in 2020. Or like not like when the pandemic hit, but like
it was like after that a little bit.
We were like mutuals on
You know
stuff.
how I know that? Because I had my actual mental breakdown the summer of 2020, and that's when you introduced me to Danganronpa.
That's right. You were like following me on Instagram.
Yeah.
And, like sometimes you would check in on me, and then you would see all my Danganronpa cosplays.
And you were cosplaying on TikTok.
Yeah, and on TikTok.
And so I got on TikTok to watch those.
And you were like, what is this? What is Danganronpa? And I was like, you should watch it. It's so funny and quirky and cool. And you were like, and I remember distinctly, you were like, which game do you cosplay the characters from the most? And so I told you to watch the second game first.
And I did. I sat there. God, it took me probably 2 months, I want to say, to watch the playthrough of it on YouTube, and like, I was not in a good way. And it was just like, I would never have picked something that has to do with you have to murder someone or you're going to be killed type of vibes. But like, I was in such distress that like living in that world and like seeing fake distress that couldn't possibly be real was somehow comforting to me at the time. And I got really attached to Danganronpa. And Ollie has drawn some Danganronpa. Why don't you show it?
I drew all the Danganronpa 2 girls because Danganronpa 2 is my favorite cast. It is the correct
Same.
It is the correct option for the best cast. And I love all the women in Danganronpa because all the men are ugly.
So true.
No, there is not an attractive male Danganronpa character.
Okay, but Gundam
is
true. A sweet boy.
I love
his
Gundam.
Animals.
But
yeah, always an artist.
Akane and Peko and Maharu and Ibuki and Mikan and Chiaki, who was best girl, and Hiyoko. And then I just have other random characters. Like I drew Psyche, like Psyche. Like an hour ago. And
I got into Psyche too.
Yeah, because of
time.
me.
Yeah, because of you. I had never watched an anime in my life until
Stranger Things.
2020.
No, that's not true. You watched Death Note.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about Death Note. I did watch Death Note way back in the day.
They've been through everything. You were like my mentor for a little bit, like my subconscious mentor. Like when I was going through like my first relationship, like I was like, I need to ask Andy for advice, and you knew all of it. Because I was like, Andy, I don't know what clicked in my brain, but I was like, Andy needs to know about this. And I could tell Andy about this and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know if you like remember like any like problematic things, but you were with me through it all. Like you were with me when I was with him and after I was with him. And
that was a wild time.
Oh Lord, that was a wild time.
I think it prepared me for current wild times though.
Oh yeah.
Like
current wild times that shall not be discussed.
Correct. But yeah, I don't know, when did we decide that we were going to be siblings?
I think it wasn't when you were still in Hollywood. I think it was the first time I visited you guys.
Here?
Here.
Okay, that makes sense.
Well, okay, when we went to Pride, you were like, I always considered you guys like my found family. You and like Becca, you're my found family. And then I was like, does that make me Andy's brother? And then you said something like, I always considered you family. And I was like, I always considered you like a sibling to me. And then I was like, oh my God, they feel the same way. And I was like, whoa. And that's how I remember it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I have a biological brother and I have my parents. They are unable to be what I need from family because they're still extremely involved in fundamentalism.
Imagine being extremely involved in fundamentalism in 2023.
Yeah. Me living I used to explain like one day when I was 19, it was like I had been raised on Mars my whole life and woke up on Earth with no instruction manual. And now I've been living on Earth since I was 19. And so I can't relate to them at all. There's no give. Like it's not like I compromised myself and my beliefs, but it was more like for the entirety of my 20s and very early 30s, I would still participate in family stuff and stay quiet about things that I actually believed. And when Trump became president, that was no longer something I could do. And so then I don't really have a relationship with my bio fam. But that's okay because
you got the awesome fam.
And it's funny because you guys are the days and now we're the clays and we rhyme.
I never even thought about it that way.
I only noticed that when we went to Disney Pride in June. I was
Days
like, what
clays.
the fuck?
The days and the clays.
And so now we have this podcast together and we collab on other stuff sometimes.
Because we have similar interests.
Yeah, we have similar interests. I feel like a lot of my special interests he is also interested in, but they're not his special. Yeah, and then the same with his special interests, I'm interested in a regular way. So it kind of all evens out.
Yeah.
It's been really nice for me to have a sibling who I do share interests with. And it's also been really nice to have a sibling who likes to read because we do recommend and send each other books and we both read a ton.
Yes.
A ton.
I mean, not so much during the school year, but
sure.
Summers are like my crazy reading extravaganza.
Yeah, I come from a sports family and I was the only non-sports person. Yeah.
Ew.
So I always felt very out of place. And so having a sibling who likes to read has been pretty awesome for me. That's how we met.
I think our most iconic moment happened a couple days ago when I chased out a mouse in this house.
Okay, so here's the deal. I have never had a mouse in my house in my life. There was a mouse in this house and I saw some stuff for mousetrap outside the house next door. So I think there's a problem next door and one of them somehow got over here. Anyway, my wife and I were terrified of this thing. And then we hadn't seen it in like a week. And we're like, okay, I guess it's gone. The other night, we're sitting there and he goes, oh my goodness. And I look up Charlie, I didn't even look. I was like, no, it cannot be. And it was. The mouse was back. And Oliver goes, can I catch it for you? And I was like, I cannot have you getting a mouse bite while you're here visiting me. He was like, no worries. I've done this before. Literally within 15 minutes, he had chased the thing out of my house. It would have cost me $650 to pay a professional to come do what he did in 15 minutes.
And now I'm going to the other mouse.
Yeah, and so I'm taking him to Disney tomorrow.
Yeah. I think it was because I wasn't afraid of the mouse.
Oh, yeah.
So the mouse was like, oh, shit.
Yeah, no, every time me and my wife would see it, it would be like, and Charlie was like, yeah, we just needed a man to come handle everything. I told my doctor that this morning and she thought that was amazing.
No, I was Brave Hero Man.
He was.
I had I had a mouse. It was not in the house, but it was stuck in a windowsill in the basement. And I was taking a shower and I heard it pawing at the window. And I got really freaked out because I just gotten out of the shower and I was naked. And I was like, what the fuck? And so I put on clothes and then I checked it and it was a little mouse and I thought the little guy was so cute. So I took a little towel and I grabbed him and I released him outside and he let me pet him some.
Oh my Lord.
And he was really soft and I loved it.
He was probably grateful for the rescue.
Oh, he was very grateful for the rescue. And that's the time I rescued a little mouse. And so this mouse was way bigger. So I couldn't use a little face towel. I had to grab one of the full body towels. I never ended up having to use it because the mouse was just kind of like, I'm dipping. I don't like this guy.
Like Oliver was relentless. Like everywhere the mouse moved, he just kept going after it. Why do we even have the door open?
Because I thought that he went into your bedroom.
Yeah, but we had the front door open though. Maybe
it was because
you
opened it because you were like, if you catch this thing, I don't want you to have to open the
door. Oh, right.
Like you can just throw it out.
I thought he was gonna like throw the towel on the mouse and then swoop it up, so I had the front door open and ready.
Luckily, I didn't have to do that.
And it just so happened that the mouse ran out into the living room. And Oliver chased him out and we just shut the door. And I was like, oh my God. And so we have a Dutch door that like opens like that. And so I opened the top part and like peeked out and it was already gone.
And we have not seen the mouse since.
And my landlord boarded up the hole in my laundry room. So hopefully nobody else can sneak in.
That was so iconic.
Thanks for hanging out on the podcast you're listening to.
Yes.
Leave us a like, leave us a comment. Tell us if you've ever had to catch a mouse or what you would do if you had to catch a mouse, because...
Would you take the Oliver approach or would you take the Andy approach?
The Andy approach was like buying every humane trap possible at Home Depot and trying every single one. That thing was so smart. It wouldn't even try any. It wouldn't even go near a trap. And like, I didn't want to buy inhumane stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like really struggling until Wonder Boy over here yeeted the mouse.
Yeah. Like, you know how like kids, when they're like little, are too scared to be like socially anxious?
Yeah.
That's how I felt about the mouse. I'm so young that I'm not like scared. And I should be scared, but I'm not.
Okay, tune in next time. I don't know what we'll talk about, but it'll be the same.
We can vlog Disney tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll probably be a video of everything we did while he was here, because I took some footage at Pride and I took some footage of you with the cats. And yeah. Anyway, bye.
Bye.